There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Bit late on this, I know. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. I should mute my own stream, come to think of it. So a bit late, I know. But unfortunately, hey, that's how it was going to be, I suppose. Actually, I can close that. I don't know why I still have it open. Yeah, we're here now. I'm going to talk about E3 in a short manner. Since I don't want to stay on the... I don't feel like I have a whole lot to mention about it. I feel like it'll be pretty quick. My overall, what I think is going to happen at E3, what I'm hoping for, all that. And I mostly want to focus on the DR stuff because, you know, I was just watching some moves in it and everything, and I'm like, damn, I do kind of miss it. So, that's what we're going to be doing now. Also, no webcam today, because I just honestly could not be bothered to hook that up and everything and get that ready. So, if I can find the video, just so I can have it ready, there it is. Unmute it. Alright. So E3. Honestly, like, not a super whole lot that I can think of that I'm really predicting or anything, or you know, expecting. I mean, okay. I more so mean that for Microsoft, because I honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know what Microsoft would maybe show off. Probably like the new Halo, all that, you know. The obvious shit there, that we already know is going to be happening. But as for something like Bethesda, I guess there's a chance like at Bethesda's, we could see Elder Scrolls 6. Which would be nice. I do kind of want to see more of that. Or more of that as in, you know, something about it. Because all we have is just the title. And a backdrop. That's really it for Bethesda's, to be honest, like that I can think of. I mostly had predictions for Nintendo's, obviously. And predictions, hopes, and all that. There's going to be... What I'm going to assume is 2 Smash reveals, right? I don't know. There's no guarantee on that. But it would almost... It almost makes sense to me if they reveal 2. They kind of have in the past with Smash. I mean, I guess, like... I guess... You could almost count Daisy as a new character, even if she wasn't Echo. Although you could also say Inkling, I suppose. For back, like, with the original Smash E3 type of shit. I honestly forgot if Smash 4 had double reveals or anything at E3. But yeah, there might be 2 reveals with that. Like I mentioned, there's always the chance that there could be a third. No guarantee, but there could be a third character not presented there. But, like, held for a later date. But, there's always a chance that that could happen. But the bigger stuff I want to focus on is actual games from Nintendo. Because, to be honest, right now, we don't got a whole lot. We know Breath of the Wild 2 is happening. I'm hoping we see gameplay of it at E3. Like something, gameplay, cutscenes, more than just the teaser that we got. What else? Prime 4 and Bayo 3 would love to get info on. By the way, they said games that are mostly coming out in 2021. And while I would almost argue that, yeah, then that might not mean entirely like all this stuff, there is a chance of it because, shit like Smash has come out in 2021. Or not 2021. What am I saying 2021? Smash came out in like, fuck, when did Ultimate come? Was it 2019? Was Ultimate 2019 and I totally forgot? It might have been. I think it might have been 2018. I actually don't remember. No, wait, no, 2018 doesn't sound right. Or what? Hold on. I gotta search it up. Smash Ultimate release date 2018. Okay, it was actually. Huh. It's been that long, huh? Fuck. Alright. But yeah, Smash Ultimate came out 2018. I accidentally hit play on the video I had ready. But yeah, that came out 2018, which was the same year it got revealed. Odyssey might have also been 2018. It was either 2018 or also like 2017 or something. Some shit like that. But it came out same year. So there's still a chance that those games could still come out this year. There's a chance Breath of the Wild 2 can still come out this year. There's a chance, and obviously they could always get delayed, right? There's a chance possibly Prime 4 or Bayo 3 could come out this year. A chance. There's a chance that, like... I mean, okay, they also said mostly, come to think of it. And that doesn't mean everything there will be out this year, meaning there could be shit that, comes out 2022. Or later, possibly. That they'll just... Like, that they'll essentially save up for the end, most likely, to reveal. Some shit like Mario Odyssey 2 or something, right? Something along the lines of that. I think that's the nice thing, is like, honestly, what was it? With the Direct, they said games that were coming out 2021, and it didn't honestly kind of pan out too great because, like, it wasn't a whole lot of, Nintendo or general AAA type of stuff. There was a whole lot there that was revealed at that Direct that was just kind of, alright, But this time, with, E3, I expect some good AAA stuff. I'm kind of hoping for Prime 4, and I'm slightly expecting it. But who knows? Bayo 3, I would hope for. Just some info on, whatever it may be. Some gameplay. Breath of the Wild 2, I do expect fully. Perhaps a new Mario game, like I mentioned. Smash reveal or two, obviously. Really random font, but hey, who knows? We could possibly get an E, not E0, F0. I don't know why I was going to say E0. F0, possible new entry there. If they would even bother doing that. And hopefully, actually, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Hopefully, I'm really hoping for this, a brand new Kirby game. Because Star Allies is great, but it's been a while since the Star Allies released. So, I'm hoping for a new Kirby game there. With that out of the way, I honestly don't have many other predictions. I kind of just want to wait and see. But, as well as, we're a bit late on this stream, so I'd rather get this done quicker. But, I have the video right here of all the DR shit. Let me go here. So I wanted to look back at this stuff because DR put a lot of effort into their characters and all that. Like they did a great job with that type of shit. You know what? Actually, I'll just edit this one. I will edit this one, and that will get me. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So DR did a great job, honestly, with a lot of character moves and everything. I'd also like to go over the OST and all that. If I can, even if it's on a channel of a person who's not exactly a great person, but hey, we'll watch it from there because like that's the only option we really have. Take a bite of my stuff. But yeah. And I just wanted to look at it again because my farewell to DR video, I had to cut off a bit early in a way. I couldn't go in depth with all the characters and everything like I wanted to. Because of I basically just had to like sleep early that night. I had school the next day and I was like, okay, fuck it. We'll just end it early and I'll just sign off there and that's it. But I thought about it for a while and decided, yeah, you know what? We're gonna do another look back, and this time it's gonna be all the attacks each character has, each character in general that I just want to talk about. And yeah, first one, obviously here being Jonathan. So Jonathan's interesting, right? Interesting way to start it, I know. But I'm not gonna lie, he kind of sucked. The original blue one, I mean. The original blue one sucked, kinda. He had some uses, but he wasn't super great, from what I remember. Then they released a Unity version of him. I personally really liked the Unity version, even if I was told he was dog shit. I personally liked him a lot. But then they released the 6-star one, who was an absolute tank. And it was kind of like funny that they did that. I wasn't expecting it at all, but the 6-star one, like 6-star Jonathan, was a legitimate tank. He took a fuck ton of damage at like a champ. And who did he release alongside? Was it Solitary Dio? I think it might have been Solitary Dio. I think it was. Because I think the whole joke of it was, haha, look, body. Like, it's Jonathan and then Dio, who, you know, of course is using his body. And Solitary Dio was very powerful, whereas Jonathan was very tanky. It was kind of the opposite of each other. Turn this down a bit just in case. I do love that whenever you pull the character, it played the voice line. Like, that was something neat to me. Was like, oh, you knew if you got the correct character in a way, depending on the voice line. I wonder if Streamlabs will have a problem with this, because I've noticed it has a problem sometimes with Google Chrome. So here. Just general basic attacks. Zoom punch. Yeah. I honestly, Luck and Pluck I found to be really fucking good. As a move. Like, whenever I used Unity, Jonathan, I fucking loved how much damage that shit did. Also, I forgot, so yeah, the interesting thing about 6-stars with DR is they had different SPs, and that also goes for 3-stars. 3-stars, 4 to 5s, and 6-stars all had different SPs of their own. So as you saw there, it was like a large punch. With the 5-star / 4-star, it was him punching the ground, and the hormone transfers over there, like he did with Jack the Ripper. And the 6-star one was what he does to, what's his face? Tarkus. Can't believe I forgot. I mean, then again, I'm kind of tired right now. The final hormone as his summonable, SP, which I did kind of like the summoning for skills, even if it was like, I don't know, it made me feel good to get the skill. It gave me the good dopamine rush. So cinematics, honestly, I really love. Obviously, I'm gonna go over why I love some of these more than others. Jonathan's is pretty good. It's based on like, a good moment. Like, okay, obviously, what most games try to do is have him do like, oh, sunlight yellow overdrive because that's the big move there. And that's true. Sunlight yellow overdrive is usually the one you remember more. In fact, I think he does it a little bit before like when he activates it. Kinda. That's kind of him doing it. But I'm glad they did this because I like it more when it's the final move the character does, or like the big move, the big climactic move against the villain. With Jonathan, it's the big on-fire punch that he does to Dio. Looks a bit choppy, but like, it's nice like that. Oh boy. So here's Will. Okay, so this is interesting. So he was the first 5-star I pulled on my day 1 account. And I was unaware of his kit. I don't even think I was part of the Discord, possibly. I actually, yeah, I don't think I was part of the Discord. And he was the first 5-star I pulled. And I had no idea of what he did. I knew, like, he could, punch the ground, as you'll see later, and he could do the zoom punch. Yeah, he could do that. And he had Tornado Overdrive as his 3-star thing, but, he could do that. He also never had his full kit. He never had a blue attack. Like an extra blue attack. He only ever had an SP, which was him with the wine cutter. Now, here's where things get interesting. Because I thought he sucked ass when I first got him. Because I, not part of the Discord, all that, no info. And if you're wondering why, it's because of what his cinematic was. I should also, now that I think about it, I should also obviously mention that, this isn't how DR was when I was playing. It was obviously the action mode. Doesn't change much on how characters' moves look and everything. But, it just adds a little tidbit there. So, I thought he sucked ass because I just saw that he had deep pass and then he just fucking died. Right? And to some degree, I was technically correct. It kind of sucked that he died. What I didn't realize is he pretty much buffs whoever's next on the team, and that can make for some insane setups. Did not know about that until like years later, or not even years later, like a year or two later, but still, it's something. Oh, yeah, now we have him. So, yeah, didn't know about that until a whole lot later. But then I lost my day 1 account, so it didn't even matter about learning about it. Because it was like, oh, cool, that buffs. Too bad my day 1 account is gone. But I think I still had him on my second account, which is the account I did videos on and all that. Now, we have Dio. The one, like, character, not even unit or anything, the, like, specific character as a whole, set, all that, who I never pulled. I never pulled his 5-star, never pulled, like, the Awakened 6-star type of thing on him, never pulled this 6-star of him. Yeah, this man eluded me. Whole lot. I never fucking got him. And I wish I did, because I like Part 1 Dio a whole lot more than Part 3 Dio. Even if Part 3 Dio has some cooler moves, I like Part 1 Dio more. So, sucked that I didn't get him at all. But anyways. So, I think if I remember correctly... I mean, okay, it's hard to tell because it's a 6-star. But he didn't do a whole lot of damage at the 5-star, mostly because he was a solitary. And solitaries kind of dealt less than neutral damage against everybody. That wasn't Unity or also solitary, so that kind of sucked. Um, what was his blue skill again? Since it's already loaded up here, actually. Right. I was gonna say write it with that, but this is a really good frame. Oh man, this is a great frame. Alright, we're gonna keep it on this for a little bit. I honestly don't even know. Is that... I don't even know what that move actually was supposed to be a reference to, come to think of it. I usually know, like, the most minuscule shit from this game, where I can spot the reference, and I can be like, oh, I remember what that was from. I don't remember what that was from. I don't remember when he did that. This is a really good frame, though. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know when he did that. We'll just go on to the next. Was that... Well, that was blue skill, huh? Well, I want to see... I actually haven't seen his blue skill a whole lot. That's nice. It's a rush. I like it when, like, most characters have a rush in here. It makes them feel equivalent with others, as well as, like, shit like dealing with sheer heart attack is a whole lot easier, then. Or was, rather. If this is the SP, it's gonna be different than the regular 5-star one. Yeah. So he had that for his 6-star. Whereas his 5-star... I mean, it wasn't the worst. But, like, his SP was kind of a counter. So it's like, you know, you had to hope that the enemy was going to attack you and everything. Oh, wait, no. Oh. Or wait, no, I think that might be the pullable. That might be the pullable. They definitely took some creative liberties with it. Because some of that is, you know, like, that one, for example, was him jumping in the air towards Jonathan. And that's when Jonathan lights his hand on fire. They took the creative liberty with that, where it's like, oh, yeah, as soon as he gets to the ground, he makes a whole bunch of ice, you know? It's very similar to Yacho's moveset, which is funny, because, you know, obviously Dio was a whole lot earlier than him in the game. I already know what the cinematic is, but let's watch it, because I do love this. I do love the cinematography here and all that, and the angles. I do really like Dio's cinematic. It is shot really well. There's a lot of powerful, like, moments to it. I love the, like, ice around him, like the frozen air. Like that. It's real great. And the aura on him. Although the aura might be because of the 6-star. That might be the case. It probably is. Because he is, I believe, a super advent. His 6-star was, at least. His regular 5-star, I think, was just an advent character. Speedwagon, I don't remember a whole lot of, because honestly, I didn't have him for the longest while. I knew he had the hammer. Which I think was right there. Yep. Oh, right, he fucking sent out the ogre boys. I forgot they were all part of his kit. That's right. Yeah, that was actually great about him. And then, of course, his cinematic with the hat. It's kind of short. That's the slight unfortunate thing about his cinematic. It was short. Not to say that's the worst thing or anything, but it does kind of... It does kind of lessen how cool it, like, you know, could have been. Compared to something like, I don't know, Eyes of Heaven, where it, like, stays on the frame a little bit with certain things. Yeah. Oh boy, Bruford. Alright, so I spent a lot honestly a decent fucking bit of diamonds trying to get Bruford, and I never got him, and I was pretty upset. I might have gotten by the end of the game. I might have. I might have to double check that. I might have to go to my videos and double check that. But Bruford released alongside the Bruford and Tarkus event, where you could get a solitary Tarkus that they had released. It was a 5-star. He was basically a free 5-star you could get. Tarkus was very slow but powerful, and Bruford was very fast but powerful. Bruford had no downside, really, when you think about it. I mean, I guess Tarkus, was tankier. That's the argument you could make there. But, I don't know, when you think about it, Bruford really just had no downside. And I'm glad they made Bruford and Tarkus. It did show that they were willing to do stuff like this for DR. Or they'd, add characters like him and Tarkus in. Air attack, yep. That teleport, which was insane on fucking action mode. I honestly, other than his cinematic, I don't remember many of those moves. Or, seeing many of them. Mostly because all I've seen is just the teleport. His teleport was insane. I'm being completely honest there. I do remember liking his cinematic a decent bit because... I mean, okay, it's short, but you get that slash, and I like that slash. As well as, just blade in the ground, picks it up, swings it all the way. I like that. It's simple, but it's a good type of simple. There's the Tarkus that I was talking about. I remember Tarkus' kit because he was one of the few solitary 5-stars that I had. In fact, I think he might have been the first. I think he was, actually. He was the first 5-star solitary unit that I had. The belly flop. Tarking Dora. Yep. He also had a really nice cinematic, which was a Heaven Hell Snake Kill. Oh, right. I forgot the enemy variant had a different... Yeah, here we go. Heaven Hell Snake Kill. Upside down. Yank. Yank. Somehow, even though, maybe had him duped a whole ton and everything, and, he was actually pretty good on both modes. I kind of forgot straights existed in DR. I remember Dyer existing in DR more than him, and Dyer was only on, 2 banners. He had a heal, didn't he? Yeah, there it is. Though he does have the great cinematic of the fucking chandelier. And then it zooms into his fucking eyes to end it. Which is pretty good. There it is. Haha, the funny man. Alright, his... Oh, that was a buff, right? It wasn't a heal. He didn't have a pullable SP. I remember that. Another character without... Or not pullable, or wait. Yeah, pullable SP. Yeah, once again, another character without, a pullable move. And they just ended the game like that. And then there's the haha move. Which looks pretty good. Wang Chan. This is interesting. He did not have a voice originally. Him and Dio were completely silent when they first released. Him and what's his face? Tower Grey. Him and Tower Grey were completely silent. Which was really funny. Because it makes stuff like the cinematic and everything look really just kind of awkward. I dropped something. I dropped something and I don't know where it went. I saw it drop. Where did it go? Alright. Don't know where it went. Yeah, don't know. Alright. But yeah, he never had a voice. Or not never. He eventually got one. But it was out of nowhere they added it. And this kind of happened with some of the Part 5 characters I remember. And stuff like that. But he had a really funny kit, honestly. Like, it's kind of great that they put him in, because, like, look at this fucking kit that he has. And, of course, cinematic. So, yeah, this was completely silent originally. In fact, I don't even think, from what I remember, I might be wrong, but I don't even think any of the lip flaps were animated. So, he would just sit there, like, no mouth movement, and then just do that. There it is, my first 5-star on my day 1 account, because I didn't know how to reroll. So, Joseph was interesting for me personally, because I didn't want his 5-star, but I did want his 6-star. Because his 5-star's SP I did not like. But I like the 6-star one a whole lot, because it's from a moment that I actually really like. And I get to talk about it, because it's a really small thing that not everybody might remember, or might know, and all that. So yeah, you know, the barrier that he does with Stroheim's hair. Obvious moves that you can remember. The rope. So here it is. So, this was interesting to me, because a moment from Part 2 I really like is essentially where Joseph essentially fights Kars' blade head-on with his own, you know, hormone and everything. Fucking smacks it with a chop, right? I really liked that moment. And when I saw how his 6-star looked, when they released it, I think for the, when they were just, like, announcing 6-stars and all that, that might have actually been the first anniversary of the game. It might have. It was, actually, yeah. That was the first anniversary of the game, was 6 stars, I believe. And that was a moment I really liked. And I saw his statue, and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like the moment where he fucking chops off Kars' blade. And what do you know? Is exactly that. And it made me very happy, and I was like, shit, I want him. Because that is actually a, like, moment I genuinely enjoy. And that also isn't a shitty fucking SP move that he has. Because the rope, it was alright, I suppose. But this move dashed you forward and stunned the enemy, and I liked that a whole lot more. And it did a good amount of damage. But obviously you can't tell here because this is, you know, tactical battle. And then there's the cinematic, where he's just moving around with the fucking redstone. Which I do kind of like that they did that for the cinematic, because that isn't even in the show, really. At least from what I remember, it's not. That's pretty much, it's both technically, you know, related to the finale. Like, you know, the fight against Kars and everything, technically. But I'd say more so heritage. It's one of, honestly, like, there's more of them in here. One of the moves in DR that was kind of just based on heritage, because why not? They just decided to. Caesar's another case of I didn't want the 5-star and wanted the 6-star. His 6-star looked insane and I really wanted it, but man oh man did I not like getting the 5-star. He also did not have a, what was it? Pullable, was it, he didn't have a pullable blue skill? Yeah, I think it was pullable blue skill. Or actually, no, he might have had a pullable. It was one of the skills he just didn't have. Honestly, that cinematic, I want to like it, right? Because it looks nice and everything. Even if I don't like Caesar too much, because he's not much of a character. I want to like it because it looks good and everything, but at the same time, it's so short. I'm kind of shocked they didn't do much with it. And of course, Lisa, who I think I might have pulled a decent bit. I think a lot of people pulled her a decent bit. And I believe she was the side unit to Cars' banner. It was like, you know, you either get Cars, who's limited, or her, who's limited, I believe. I think she was limited. And of course, yeah, she has a similar thing. But I believe she actually did that in the show, unlike Joseph's. Santana, who I was kind of shocked that they made an entire unit for. You know, like, Tarkus and Bruford, at the very least, you could excuse that as, like, the only other villain, really, that you could think of would be Dio. And if it's just Dio, part 1 has 4 characters. But Santana was, like, just out of nowhere. I didn't expect it, because it's like, oh yeah, obviously we're gonna add the Pillarmen. Specifically, you know, the main 3, and then just the main characters of, or the main protagonists of part 2. But I was not at all expecting Santana. But then they released him. And hey, it was neat. Like, yeah, why not? Give us a Santana model. And then his cinematic was him fitting into your body and beating the shit out of you. Stroheim, who was a free unit, I remember. Also, Santana's cinematic, it's nice, but at the same time, it almost feels weird. Like, there's almost something so stiff to it. But Stroheim was a free unit that you could get twice. And then after that, I think you might have been able to purchase him or something. He wasn't anything too insane, but he did have a pretty great move. Oh yeah, he had that, which was pretty... That was pretty great. Bomb. Here it is. This was a great move he had. Even if it's not much for the cinematic. Blow yourself up and do a fuck ton of damage. It was pretty great. Wamu. Who a lot of his moves, I remember being like... all the fucking Divine Sandstorm type of shit. Unless his pullable SP isn't what I remember what it was. Like, that. Which I remember that you had to charge up in action mode to do more damage. Whereas here they just unleash it, because why not? Oh no, it was a horn, that's what his pullable SP was. But he did have it for a cinematic. Of course, that's Jesse. I actually don't know if I ever pulled him, come to think of it. I might not have. But it did have some great moves. And of course could burn. I also forgot to say, but Wamu obviously has a really nice cinematic. Not anything super, but it's definitely nice. His though, it's interesting, but I don't know. There's not too much to it, and that almost doesn't put it like, you know, too high for me. Cars who, you know, I eventually pulled on Hio's banner, which I think was on the summon video. If not, he's probably there in some fashion. And he had a fun kit. I really liked Cars' kit. More specifically, of course, in action mode. I did like his cinematic just because of the shining and all that. And then dashing forward with it. It was nice. It's a nice simple one. That's a good simple one. Oh yeah, Wired back. I also spent a good chunk of diamonds trying to get him and never got him. That also hurt. And he had a real fun kit, from what I could tell. From like friends and all that. Like, look at that shit. And then of course, that great cinematic. Wired Beck was a like really funny addition, but like it was also great because it was showing they were willing to add the minor stuff. I guess that it was already proven with stuff like Santana and all that, I suppose, in some ways, but that definitely proved it. That 100% proved it. Roboheim, who was limited, who was the side banner unit to, I believe, who was next. He was very fun. And he was actually good on this mode, on tactical mode. He was also just good on action mode, but he was definitely pretty damn good for farming here. Because a lot of his stuff were AoE moves. Because this was an AoE move. This was an AoE move. This was an AoE move. And this was too. That cannon was terrifying to deal with on action mode, because I remember, obviously, you know, you see the cinematic and he raises his hand out and everything. And then, as soon as it ends, there's just a fucking cannon in front of you, and you now have to dash out of the way. And there he is. Ultimate Lifeform Cars. Which had some pretty neat stuff to him. And I wish I pulled him. And I wish he was also type neutral. He would have made sense as a type neutral character. I mean, I guess he was a type neutral enemy, but like, would have been nice to also be a type neutral character. So that he'd have literally no weakness. Well, I think he had a reduction in damage increase to Unity. So he was meant in a way to counter that. And still be, you know, the ultimate life form, haha. Pretty decent cinematic. There he is, the ho-hee-hee man. I don't know why I'm giving him that name. I honestly should have re-rolled for Jotaro when I played on my day one account. Or even just my second account. Actually, who did I even get on my second account? Was it Jotaro? I don't think it was, because I think I pulled on a box banner for Jotaro. I don't think it was Jotaro. It was somebody. And I can't remember who. But Jotaro had a decently fun kit, honestly. Even if that move sucked. And there was no point to it. The other stuff was nice. That move is supposed to go on for longer, but for some reason, tactical battle removed the second half of it. You can obviously see that in the Jotaro references video on my channel. Spin attack, that was really good. This sucked on this mode. It wasn't amazing on action battle, but like, it was at least better there because it was usable. You could run around, you could do a couple of things, you could get a move off. It kind of sucked here because basically the whole point of stopping time on tactical battle is you stop time and you get like 2 moves in, right? You get to do 2 moves instead of 1, essentially. It's nice for that. But because this was a free like time stop, essentially, that they gave out to everyone, you get 1 turn with it. But that seems pointless because you were already going to use a turn to do a move. So it was really useless just to have the time stop. I guess it gets past counters. That's the argument you can make, is it gets past counters, which I guess is true. But And this was great in my opinion. Here's a really great cinematic. They fucking reference the opening of Stand Proud. It's kind of great. It's kind of great just for that. The 2 Kakuins that were released were really just different visually. I mean, I guess they're also different stat-wise and ability-wise and all that, but like, move-wise, they're really not different. Freestyle one. That one's oddly zoomed in. That one's also oddly zoomed in. And then, of course, his cinematic. I did like that cinematic a decent bit. Has some good angles to it, shows all the wires. And then, of course, the point. Oh yeah, I do like Polnareff's cinematic as well, a decent bit. I loved his kit. He had a pretty damn fun kit. That, like, turned you into a pin cushion. Or no, that's the Freestar version, I believe. Right? Yeah, that was the Freestar version. That was the one he does to Vanilla Ice. The counter, which he also does to Vanilla Ice. Which is pretty great. And then I love that. I love the sword swinging in the air and then flipping it down. Yeah, that was pretty great. Old Joseph, who was actually pretty damn fun to use. And he was very useful with some of his kit. Standard slap. Defensive buff. That, which is based on the Empress fight. The pull and then charge forward that he had. And then the cinematic. Which isn't much. Honestly, the cinematic isn't super great because it's like 2 seconds long. And then it gives you the fucking Ray of God coming down. Abdul, who was very good as a 6-star. Wish I pulled him earlier than at the end of the game, I believe. Or actually, it might not have been the end of the game, but it might have been somewhere near there. It was just generally really good. And of course, you know, all the crossfire hurricanes, all that. Standard stuff that he would do. He did have a nice cinematic, because, you know, you get those coming at you at the screen while it does the standard pose that you usually see Magician Thread doing. Iggy, who had a lot of counter-related stuff, I remember. Also that move, which was pretty nice. Especially in action mode, where it just took up a lot of fucking space. Yeah, you had like 2 counters. The cinematic was interesting. I mean, I guess it made sense, but like, they essentially based the cinematic on how he kills Pet Shop. And that was pretty cool. Because he flies forward and bites you in the mouth. fake Captain Tenniel, which was really great, and obviously got memed the fuck out of because people were going, we got a whale for Dark Blue Moon. And he was fun. As somebody who did get him and everything and used him, he was fun. It's a decently nice cinematic, and of course the other character who didn't have the voice at the time. I don't even remember if I actually pulled him. Even at the end of the game, I don't remember if I pulled him at the end of the game. I might have. Okay, he had a pretty nice, yeah, cinematic because he puts that down and everything. It's a nice looking cinematic. Oh, there he is! The man that I put multiple dupes, or, well, not put I think I put like 2 or 3 turtles into him, but natural dupes. He had a whole lot of those, for me personally. The absolute HP tank with no defense. Well, actually, he might have had a decent bit of defense, I kind of don't remember. And poison damage, which really didn't mean much until, you know, Fugo and Prosciutto. But that cinematic did have a fuck ton of range. And when he was an enemy that was legitimately dangerous, it was pretty good. Now, Devo's interesting. Because he kind of did... actually, I don't know if he did function like Heritage, because I guess... Actually, I guess he did. He did kind of function similar to Heritage in some ways. You, of course, played as, like, Ebony Devil whenever you used him. For the most part. Well, okay, actually, I say for the most part. No, you did. It's just, it's kind of hard to tell with Tactical Battle because, you know, RPG. But in action mode, you did. You used Ebony Devil, and you ran around as Ebony Devil. And, like, you basically had an unlimited amount of range. And you did all those moves and all that shit. Really fun character. Like, really neat concept. It's just too bad it kind of got fucked over when, of course, they added Tactical Battle. And then, of course, that was the cinematic for him. Which was a pretty nice thing to choose for the cinematic, honestly. I think that was the end of the fight, come to think of it, so I guess it does make sense that that was the cinematic. Whole horse. It was pretty good. He had to use a bit of range, and also he had the run move, which buffed the next set of people. Oh yeah, and he had that move, which wasn't super great. But I mean, I suppose it was decent. Because you had to get close, and it was kind of the opposite of, you know, whole horse. Which is getting close. But I guess if you're in a close encounter, it's pretty good for that. And it's a nice cinematic. You get to see him, like, make the gun appear in the way he normally would. Escape. Yeah. And then flies around. Enya, who I do believe I pulled at the end of the game or something. She had a decently fun kit. Especially because she spawned basic enemies, as you can see. And then had some buffs. Decently simple cinematic. And Duel, who was my first pulled solitary 5-star. He had a decently ranged kit, but I didn't find him that great because I didn't realize that he gets faster with stuff like Dododo if you have the correct setup, but he's kind of slow because, you know, he's blind. Like, just normally. Oh yeah, he has a nice cinematic. It's simple, once again. But, you know, you get Geb flying around him and all that. Chaka, who I remember trying to pull for a decent bit. And then his cinematic, which was pretty damn great, was the fucking pillar and cutting through it. So you got hit by the slash from the sword, and then you got hit from the pillar. Anubis Polnareff, I had a summon video on him, and I never uploaded it because I really didn't get much good, and there was just really not a whole lot to it. But I eventually did get him, and he did have a real fun kit. He had a real nice kit to him. And of course, a lot of the stuff's based on his fight with Jotaro. The spin, which was really nice. The, like, gut stab. And then that's the same shit that they, it's the same shit that they do to, like, show off, like, oh look, Silver Chariot plus, you know, Anubis in the anime. With the same pose and everything, the same camera angles. It's real great. I like that a lot. I like Anubis Polnareff a lot in general, so that was great for me. Mariah, who had a decently fun kit. It basically, you know, you magnetize the enemy and then throw a whole bunch of horse shit at them. Which didn't translate well to tactical battle, because tactical battle did not have the same mechanics as action battle. Or action mode, whatever you want to say. And as a result, kinda sucked for her. And then her cinematic being the fucking giant car. Pet Shop. It was decently... Actually, I kinda remember using Pet Shop, but at the same time I don't. I remember there being some slightly fun stuff to him, like the range and all that. But, not a large amount of stuff. Although he did have this for the cinematic, which was the shit he does to the guy with the photo and everything. Vanilla Ice, who completely ignored defense and was overpowered because of that. Except for, you know, tactical battle where that didn't mean shit. But he was really good in action mode. I'd almost like to do more, like, you know, the anime references type of thing with DR. It's just like, it almost feels like there's no point because it's a dead game. But I don't know, if people would be interested in that type of thing, I wouldn't mind doing more of them. Just for fun. And then his cinematic being this slowly creeping in circle that he makes. Oh boy, this. So, I got quite the opinion about Blood Draw. Because, okay. Let me start off by obviously restating. Or not, well, yeah, restating really. Not a huge fan of Part 3 Jotaro. But this was really fucking cool. This was a really fucking cool idea of, here's this unit, but bloody, and here's all the new attacks they have, right? From, like, their final battle. I'm upset that we never got a Blood Josuke. I was like, I had gems slightly saved up almost all the time, because I'm like, we could get Blood Josuke, and I really want that. But... and of course, I mean, when Part 5 came up, I had, like, shit ready for GER, and what do you know, I got GER. It actually took until I got, like, another, or no, I think it was a single summon. I think I got GER and a single summon, I was like, fucking finally. But still, Uh, so, where do I even begin? Okay, here's what I'll say. He was the first time stopper I had in the game, excluding the free mind they gave out. He was the first time stopper I had in the game. I didn't get him on his banner, got him later, but first time stopper I had. First super advent I had. He has a lot of achievements like that. He has all that shit. So he was decently important to me. I also wanted him pretty damn bad. Because, listen, as much as I don't exactly enjoy Part 3 Jotaro, he has stuff to him that's cool. I can't deny that he has stuff to him that's cool, even if I don't enjoy it. Similar to something like Goku Black. Don't exactly enjoy the concept of, or maybe not the concept, but how they built Goku Black with Super. But I love the stuff he did. Like the moves and all that, right? The pose being like, him just right behind Dio and everything. Right there. That's pretty great. The fucking... Oh, sorry. Hold on. One moment. Let me just do something real quick. It is not in use. I am literally using nothing with this device. There is nothing being used with this device. I don't understand. Although I should copy this, come to think of it, so I don't fuck up. Put this, actually I'll put this in OBS. See if I can inject it. No, okay. Yeah, just... Alright. So, yeah. Pose being from right when he's right behind Dio. The bigger thing to me that I did love was the fact that, Star Platinum here, from the end of the world opening, when it just, like, bursts out and everything, did really like that. And his kit... Man, his kit was cool and full of so many references. Like, okay, I would 100% love to do a video on his references and stuff because there's so much good shit in here. Standard rush. That rush was also infinite, by the way. If you, on action mode, if you just held down the attack button, he did that rush infinitely until the, meter was depleted, for Dododo. The Dododo mode. Until that meter was depleted, he would punch infinitely with that. So he was real great with that. His blue skill just being a, rush. Nothing too big there, but this is where we get with, some interesting shit. So, of course, his pullable blue skill was time stop, which I think I already did have. I think I had the skill for it, so I was lucky enough with that. Where it's like, oh, I got my first time stopper. Oh, wait, I need the skill. Oh, wait, I have the skill. Right? So his regular SP was a knife. It was a knife that he throws at Dio to stop him while he's holding onto the car and everything. If you got hit by that in action mode, he'd teleport right behind you. And another move that he'd teleport right behind you with is... his pullable SP, which was breaking your legs just like he did to Dio. And so that's him breaking your legs, and after time resumes, okay, this is a hitbox. I should mention, this is a hitbox, as you can see, that does or not hitbox, but like it does damage rather. You can get hit by this, of course, and take damage, is what I mean. You can also get hit by and take damage from that. Simply just kicking you away. Not even like, you know, the kick itself and then kicking you away is what could hurt you. And then his cinematic, which I love. This is my, like, one of my favorite cinematics in the actual game. Just because, like, it's a really fucking great reference, and I love it when games do this, when they put these cinematic big final attack that they do to the villain as the ultimate move for said character, right? So, takes a step forward like he does to Dio when he's on the floor, like telling him, like, to essentially bring it on, right? Brings Star Platinum out, does the big punch he does to Dio's leg, and fires a massive fucking punch, and anybody within, like, I want to say, like, 60 degrees of that, can get hit. Even if you're far away, you can get hit by that, and it hurts where it is a bit. Speaking of characters, I really fucking love being in the game, even if I don't enjoy the character themselves too much. Here's Shadow Dio. He didn't have many moves, technically, to reference off of, so his entire kit is based on Heritage for the Future, for the most part. For the most part. So there's the knives, like he would throw in Heritage for the Future. The Ripper Eyes, once again, Heritage. I'd say that's less Heritage, and that's more the just Flesh Buds. It's him releasing the Flesh Buds. Although I guess that could be considered Heritage because of the pose he does with it. You can make the argument that's the move he has. Yeah, I'd actually say that's probably the reference to Heritage as opposed to this, which I'm not even sure what this was meant to be. I guess vines, like from the cat. I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's vines from when he's like there with Kakyoin. But yeah, that's like the alt he has, or the super rather, in Heritage, and then the book. And in action mode, this was a counter essentially. That book was a counter, but even if you didn't attack him, it still triggered. You would still get hit by this, so it didn't matter what you did. You were still going to get punched. And there he is, the meta one. Or the original meta one. And then we'll get to the second meta one. Also, I forgot to mention it, but I do like his cinematic a decent bit. Showing the star, or like, showing his back rather. Then zooming in on the star. Him turning all the way, pointing at the screen like he does. With the world coming out. And a dark world at that, like, you know, kind of shadow world. So the thing that I kind of found slightly lame about this deal is there wasn't a whole lot to him that was like... There almost wasn't much, I'm gonna say, like, source material. Like, let's look at it again. He does a big overhead punch. Not much there, really, in terms of source material. He throws 4 knives at once. Which the skill implies this is supposed to be what he does to Joseph, but there's 4 knives at once. And this isn't just some sort of, like, tactical mode issue. This is also a thing in action mode. So it's kind of weird with that. Also, that move was fucking broken in action mode, by the way. And then he does this. Which is just stop time and do a Muda Rush. And so there's not a whole lot. And then, of course, stop time. Now, this does have, obviously, source material, where it's just him throwing the knives around Jotaro. And this is a really nice cinematic. Like, it legitimately is, but it's the one thing he has with true source material. Now, Hio is interesting because he actually does have some source material to him. It's just weird because they put it on Hio. But I guess they realized, we didn't actually give Dio that many iconic moves or anything. So stop time was his automatic, you know, blue skill. He had a standard healing type of thing for his basic attack. He had the sign that he hits, or tries to hit Jotaro with. for his pullable blue skill. He had this rush, which I guess you could say like doesn't really have much of a reference to it, but I almost saw it as like it's trying to be the shit that he does to Jotaro when he's like, you know, I don't know why I'm saying there. Dio's testing out how much time he has, like, you know, now after he's absorbed Joseph's blood. So, like, he starts punching Star Platinum starts punching back. And then, of course, he punches Jotaro more later with the, like, in his ribs and everything and all that. That's what I always took this as, but, like, I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the intention, but it almost feels like that. And originally it was just a Muda Rush, and then he throws a knife, which, once again, not a lot of source material with that. I mean, I guess you can make the argument it has more source material than the regular knives that Dio had, because at least he does, like, you know, the proper Muda, and then throws one knife. And then the center, and his card, as a whole move, as his pullable SP. Then his cinematic, being the kicks that he does before the Road Roller, and the Road Roller itself. And this is legitimately the most accurate Road Roller for one very obvious reason. Like, in terms of, like, you know, Dio using it and everything in video games. He's using his elbows, which is legitimately how he, like, you know, does do it. Also, that line used to be different. He used to just say, like, die, essentially, instead of, I'll flatten you. So it was a bit weird, but they eventually changed it to, you know, that. But yeah, this is like the most accurate because he does the elbows instead of his fists. Here's the more accurate Dio that they eventually released for the 2nd anniversary, who does have accurate moves. His blue skill, being the shit he does to Kakyoin. The knives. There's still like 4 of them, but you know what? Whatever. This being when it tests out Star Platinum. I remember that for a, like, fact. I had to point it out to some people because some people didn't know why it was just a random, like, him jumping around with the world doing that. This is straight up. He hits him in the... Oh yeah, that's the... Kicks him in the legs, right? Kicks him in the leg... kicks him in the legs and opens up, like, the... Or puts a hole in his pants, right? That's what that is. Then the 1, 2, 3, 4 that he does while Star Platinum's guarding. Then, like, you know, after the sign gets knocked down and Star Platinum kicks the sign out of the way, he does the hand. And this is essentially just showing, like, what would have happened if Star Platinum didn't guard the hand coming towards him. Which is just, he would have slashed, essentially. Standard, the world type of thing. And as cinematic, I did actually like a decent bit. This is from when he, like, essentially Jotaro starts moving and stop time. Or, like, for the first time. But Dio thinks, obviously, it was a trick and everything. So he flies up into the air, comes back, and sends the world out. Instead, you get to see what it would look like if that attack worked. That's pretty great. You know what? We're gonna go on a quick BRB before I continue. Just because I need to go to the bathroom, honestly. So, yeah, quick BRB, and then I'll talk about part 4 and 5, shit. Alright, time to return and do part 4 and 5 stuff. Alright, let's see. There we go. Alright. Now, of course, we have to talk about Josuke, who I might have... Actually, no, I probably had the blue one. Actually, no, I had free Josuke, which was essentially, you know, the one they give out for free. I had the blue one later, but I don't know if I ever got the 6-star one. That is one of the only ones I don't know if I got. But, honestly, I don't know if there's much to say about him. I mean, you know, he has that. The bullet, which X-Force trained into him for some reason because it didn't actually bother, you know, translating everything and seeing what to do for skills, and as a result he didn't have the bullet anymore. What was the SP skill of the 6-star one? Because I don't remember seeing it. Oh, I guess it's just a door rush. Yeah, he didn't honestly get a whole lot. He really just had door rushes and that was about it. His cinematic is slightly different as a 6-star though. I think. Actually, maybe not. Actually, no, I guess not. I guess they just... Did he have a... Oh, I guess him and Free Josuke had a different voice line for that. For the cinematic, I mean. Yeah, it was really just door rushes. That's all he had. I suppose it was cool, but like there was not a whole lot to him. His cinematic does look decently nice though. Here's the first defense piercing unit that I had personally. Because it was him and Vanilla Ice since they have, you know, erasing stands. I did like that he had the kick that he does to like Koichi at the gate. It was a neat little, like, I'm surprised that they decided to reference that with one of his moves. I believe that actually could teleport him in action mode. And then this, which I actually do like, which is the shit he does to Red Hot Chili Pepper. Oh, there he is, the guy who I spent a decent bit trying to get. And we had some pretty neat stuff to his moveset. I mean, most of it was standard, but it was nice that his pullable blue skill was the fire that he sets. That was a neat little thing. And it would last longer if it was on action mode, instead of, you know, tactical. I don't remember a lot of Act 1's moveset. Even if I had him. Like, I pretty much had every Koichi for the longest while. Like, I just had all of them. But I don't remember all of his shit. That was his cinematic, huh? Damn. I remember Act 2 being slightly fun because in action mode he'd just set traps down and you'd run into them, whereas here it's just a counter. There it is, the worst unit in the game, or worst 5-star rather. He was pretty bad, and he had no summonable skills. Not a whole lot of damage. Actually, no, he might have had a single summonable skill. He might have had like one. Actually, no, I don't know if he did. I don't think he had skills at all. He just had a basic kit. they did a decent job on a cinematic. And there is Rainhan. Rohan in general was my MVP in DR, but Rainhan especially. Which is... after this one. There he is. And he has a nice cinematic. Because it's flipping through the pages. And then ripping it out. And of course, you know, it just looks different with Rainhan. That's really it. Yukiko, who I believe was actually one of the first 5 stars in the game. At least I can remember that. I think she was. I think like Caesar, Will, her, possibly Act 3. And then her cinematic, which honestly kind of looked weird to me. Like, this cinematic always kind of looked weird. I don't know. I personally found. There he is, the joke that got ruined thanks to certain people. The runaway skill. Which was literally just a runaway skill, but I guess with tactical battle they decided it was a switch out move, even though you could just switch out. A simple but nice cinematic. Angelo, who I honestly forgot was in the game. Did he even have... I think he might have had one skill. Just double checking something. Yeah, Angelo didn't really have a whole lot to him that was pretty damn cool. Did kind of suck. I mean, it was neat that he was in the game. There's Keicho, the damage meta, because he could stack his skill. His little buff that he had. Which is this one. You could stack that in action mode, and you could essentially just do a fuck ton of damage. It's a nice cinematic. I guess I should also count the attack parts, because this makes, like, Keicho's pretty good. That's the attack part. Where it's just all the units surrounding the enemies. There it is, the first, the 5-star excluding the starter one that I had on my second account. And he was decently fun, to be honest. I was told he was way better than he actually was, but he was decently fun. This move, I mean, okay, this cinematic looks great, and it actually is also great here. But that final punch there he does in the ground, that was the only thing that could kill in action mode. Which made me realize, I now see one problem with him. Yuya, who I actually don't remember if I ever did pull. Other than, you know, the free one. I probably did, actually, and I just don't remember. Because I feel like I did have him in my collection. And of course he healed himself with pretty much most of his moves. Makes sense considering, you know, Highway Star's ability. nice cinematic there, but I mean, the attack isn't anything fantastic, but the cinematic itself is pretty nice. They shockingly didn't turn music off for this moment. Oh, but now they did. Miyamoto was actually pretty damn fun because he had the fear tactic to him, where if you scared the enemy enough, you could slam them into the paper. This was made easier with, the gun there and stuff like that. It was a neat little mechanic they decided to do, and it was pretty fun. And he also had a pretty damn great fucking cinematic right here, where he shoves you into the shredder. That's the hee-hee-hoo-hoo David Bowie, man. Who had a good amount of skills. It's too bad they suck in tactical battle, but they were pretty damn good in action mode. That coin was really good. It was long range. His 6-star had that, which was pretty good. Sheer heart attack, which was way better in action mode because it's essentially like having a partner. And his cinematic was also sheer heart attack, so you got extra uses out of it. And here's another unit that I actually do like a decent bit because they made some good references with him. And this time it's a Jotaro who actually is decent, I don't mind him as much. It's part 4 Jotaro, it's decent. And he has holes all over him, like from the fight against sheer heart attack, quote unquote. Fight. Yeah, there's the reference. Where he just absolutely shatters Kosaku / Kira's hand and also body. And this, honestly, his cinematic is also another one of my favorites. Fucking both Blood Taros having some of my favorite cinematics. Absolutely sick. Kosaku was very fun, and it was a interesting thing they decided to do. I was kind of shocked they decided to do black hair Kosaku at all. He makes the rock. He has the counter that he does to Koichi. The hand shit that is obviously iconic for with the black hair. The hand that he holds to his face. And then the thing he does to Hayato, which was a shocking reference. And it actually looks pretty damn nice. And there he is. The real nice Kosaku, because he had a whole lot to him that made him pretty damn good. Especially range. Range is what he really had in action mode that made him good. With the range with those bubbles. And Bites the Dust, which could refresh a whole bunch of stuff. And also just generally looked really good. Another one of my favorite cinematics. And then of course it continues. I wish I pulled him. I mean, I might have pulled him at the end of the game, but I wish I pulled him earlier. Because he was insanely good. Like, at least for action mode, I wish I pulled him. And they, of course, released a blood version of him, because why not? I mean, I say of course, but honestly, it wasn't expected. People expected blood Josuke, but not blood him. But they did it. They released a blood Kosaku, with, like, a Killer Queen that looks cracked. And it was pretty damn neat. And then, of course, his cinematic looks different, so that's real nice. Same thing as the previous one there. So here's Giorno. He did not have a voice originally. He was also a 4-star just normally, but then they released him as a 5-star who could awaken. And then eventually they gave him his voice. And a good chunk of Part 5 characters are going to have that, where they just don't have their voice. Or they didn't have their voice for a little while. Wow, they only did that 5 times. Wow. Okay, I should fully say that Giorno had 2 pullable SPs, I believe. The original one... What the fuck was the original one again? Because I don't think it was the tree. Also, no, I think the tree was his base kit. I could probably fast forward and see. Was it the tree? Was it the... Wait, was it just a... Oh wait, no, was it the rush? Oh, the tree actually might have been the pullable one. The tree might have been the pull... Or no. No, because I feel like I had the tree as part of his kit. Like, regular kit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the tree was part of his pullable stuff, or maybe not. But either way, he had a standard Muda Rush as one of the SPs. And they eventually gave him the 7-page one, quote-unquote. It wasn't good. And it doesn't go on for as long as you'd hope. Or sound like you would hope it would sound. But I guess it does the iconic stuff to it in some ways, so... It's not the worst. And then his cinematic was the fucking big punch he does to Bucciarati. Speaking of which, he also did not have his voice for a while. And just like Giorno, they decided to give him a pullable SP later. Or a second one, rather. And it had the move that you're probably expecting. Here it is. Because he released, like, pretty much not too long after Giorno, and I think... Actually, yeah, no, just not too long after Giorno, I believe. So this was the original pullable SP he had. Where it was just him going into his zipper and then going out the other side. And then his cinematic was also based on the Giorno fight, because, like I mentioned, released not too long after. Abakio, who I actually don't remember if he did have his voice originally. He might have. He actually might not have. I feel like I almost remembered him not having his voice, but I could be wrong. But he was pretty damn good. He was pretty damn nice. It was shocking that they made a Abakio this good. Him, Bruno, and like... I don't know, insert unit who was pretty good as the third one, with the standard teams that people would do. Mista, who also did not have his voice for a decent bit. I should also mention that pretty much every Part 5 character, and also the Bites the Desk Kira, who was bloody, were pretty much exclusive, for the most part, to tactical battle. They occasionally move them into action battle, or action mode, rather. But that was a, like, select few. Missed out some neat moves to him, honestly. A lot of his skills, actually, like the pullable stuff, were pullable, like, way later. They did not give him pullable skills for a while. And then there's the cinematic, where they all kick the bullet. It's pretty neat. Fugo, who wasn't too high on a tier list type of thing, because he gave the virus, essentially, to, like, units and all that. But I believe he could also give it to himself and to his allies. So it kind of sucked, because it's like he could also, he could endanger both himself and his allies. Narancha, who I tried real hard for, but I got the side banner unit instead. Because I do like Narancha a whole lot. Favorite character in Part 5, and, you know, Part 5 is my favorite, so... Then again, I actually don't know if I would say he's my favorite character in general. Not sure about something like that. I'd say he's my favorite, actually, out of the protagonist type of shit of Part 5, you know? That's what I'd say, for a fact. But, favorite character in general, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. And yeah, of course, his cinematic was actually based on the Formaggio fight. And we almost got a Formaggio, like a playable one. But, man, it shut down before that happened, as well as the playable Pesci. Trish, who was pretty neat, and she had a whole lot of counters to her. Some of them reflecting, like, whatever you did, even if it was a projectile or something. Like, I think that's what the clock there did. That was the fucking... essentially the thing that she does to Bucciarati's arm. The pole for the pole SP. And then for the cinematic, it's what she does to the plane. And it's pretty nice looking. Luca, who was essentially an April Fool's type of thing. It was neat, I suppose. He also had an assist type of thing. Yep, Prosciutto, who also had a similar problem to Fugo, where it's like he had aging, and he could also give it to his allies, and I think possibly himself. I actually don't know if he could give it to himself, but he might have been able to. He did have some moves, though, that made it more specific to hit the enemy, like the one you saw there, where he rushes forward and hits them with it, and this one, which was a counter that automatically gave the aging to the one he hit, of course. So it became a whole lot easier with those. But stuff like this, where it was an AoE, and I do like this cinematic a decent bit. It looks real nice, and it has some good camera angles there. But this one, it's like it could go to anybody. Like, as you can see there, it went to him. Babyface, which had a lot of neat stuff to it, shockingly. I was expecting not to be impressed by Babyface's moveset. But no, they actually made it pretty cool. Where it's like you get those cut-ins, and then it does something. And then it also was very defensive, which worked really well with Risotto. And you'll see why in a bit. Oh yeah, and it's cinematic, which was kind of funny. Just point. And then he shoves his finger directly in your ass. Gacha, who I enjoy a decent bit. I believe a lot of people did. He was also very fucking good. Especially for like a La Squadra team. Dash forward. And this is what I meant with the like Dio having something similar. His cinematic was actually a counter to projectiles, which was really nice, and it made sense. But it was really helpful for projectile enemies who are just a pain in the ass, because they just throw it right back at them. Anyways, risotto time. As much as I was upset that he released because I lost a bet, essentially. I do like Risotto a whole lot. I like his design, I like his ability, even if he isn't super in-depth as a character. And that move essentially made the enemies hit the ally, like the one of him going invisible, which worked really well with Babyface, or even Gacho, because Gacho was very defensive as well. I also really like his cinematic, just because of Metallica appearing all over the place with it. I do really like this cinematic. And then, you know, of course, giving you everything. Part 5 Jotaro, who they decided to release, which, like, I'm just going to show off the SP if I can. Here it is. That's really all I have to show for him, because everything else is just what the Blood Turo had from Part 4, except not as cool, honestly. And we are actually reaching the end of this, huh? There he is, my first bad sign that the game might have been ending or something, because they released him out of nowhere. Now, to be fair, Part 5 was almost over when they released him. So I guess it was that slight excuse, but at the same time, something felt off for me because I skipped so much shit just to release Diavolo that I felt like something was wrong. Also, I should mention this, just because why not? I absolutely love this model of Diavolo. The two previous models we have of like All-Star Battle and the PS2 game, they kind of stick his hair up in a weird way, like how it looks when he's like pointing at Giorno, telling him he won't have time to regret his own death, or he won't give him the time to regret his own death. They give him the hair that he has there, and it's like, it's neat, I guess, for maybe like that. If he does the taunt there, it's neat for that. But before and after that, it looks a bit weird because he just has it in All-Star Battle in the PS2 game. It's just like that. Whereas here, they just, flopped it down like it should be. And it is arguably the best Diavolo model we have ever gotten. Like, it honestly looks great. And Diavolo, I believe, had an all counter similar to Trish. Fitting, but yeah, no matter what you did, projectile or actual hit, he could counter it like that. He could also skip turns. That's what made him so broken. And that's part of the reason why I it felt like a bad sign. Is out of nowhere they skipped a whole bunch of units to release Diavolo, and he could skip turns. And I'm like, that doesn't feel like a good sign. And I was totally correct because the game was shutting down 2 or 3 months after. Big old chop. And his cinematic, which is easily, in my top 3. The game was shutting down soon, and yet they were willing to do this much for the cinematic. And furthermore, they were willing to do so much for his cinematic as well. I also really like this GER model. It's a real great GER model. And also a good Giorno model. I should mention, DR arguably has some of the best models out of any, JoJo game in general. I would want these over most of the All-Star Battle stuff. I can't even think of what I wouldn't want over what I wouldn't want over the All-Star Battle stuff. Because the All-Star Battle stuff is kind of just alright. They're alright models. Yep. Arguably my favorite. My literal favorite cinematic right there. And that's that. But yeah, this was an obvious sign for me as well. Was just they out of nowhere released Giorno right after, and I'm like, oh man, more skipped characters, and Giorno's also really broken. I wonder if that means, yep, game's shutting down. Yeah, I do kind of miss DR. There's a whole lot here that looked fantastic and was great and was fun, but I suppose it's a moment of the past now. But, yeah, that was a nice little chill stream where I just talked about this and really short E3 predictions. And, yeah, we'll be back on Friday with Kirby, and then on Saturday with Metal Gear. And then next week we'll actually watch the E3 stuff. Yeah, I'm not even going to play the outro. Just have yourself a good night, and that'll be the stream. Yeah.